not so many audience here. Here I present this paper on behalf of my college, who cannot come here. This paper is about the study of the similarity between genetically identical wave patterns. So the outline is like this. First, I will give a brief introduction of our study, the background of the study, and why we do this and how we do this. Second, I will show our wave identification system. Then I will give the matching scheme and show some matching result. Then finally, I will give the conclusion. Okay, so why we do this? Do the identification between the twins, because for any family with twins kids, this thing may happen sometimes. So in this case, we need to figure out who is the really one that did this. And in the same way, in the forensic area, we also need to find out who is the really criminal. Because maybe one of the twins is committed to a crime, but we don't know who is the real one. So how we do this? We have some biometric traits that can help us to identify a person, such like the face, the palm prints, the fingerprints, the irises here. And among those biometric traits, we can see that the fingerprints and the irises have been proved to be able to differentiate the twins. That means if we can identify the twins using those two biometric traits. But in our study, in most of cases, we cannot find the fingerprints or the irises, such as like the bank robbery. The criminal come in there with the face mask and wearing gloves, and the surveillance camera cannot capture the irises images. So in this case, what can we do? We need to find another biometric trace or some other ways to help us to identify a person. So luckily we have the wave patterns. Well, wave patterns is all over our body. Yes, and we can use it as a biometric traits to identify a person. Usually we have two ways to obtain the wave patterns. The first one, we can get wave patterns from the IR light. The scheme of this technique is like this, because we can see we have the wave under our skin, and the oxygen light vessel can absorb more IR light than the other part of the tissue. So if we illuminate the skin part with the near-infrared light, the wave will absorb more light than the other part. Then it will appear darker in the image, just like the image here. We can see the darker lights right here are the wave patterns. This is one way we can obtain the wave patterns. Another one is we can get wave patterns from the color images. Why we do this? Because in our case, we don't always have the near-infrared images. Because if the surveillance camera don't have the IR sensor, and in some other cases like the images from internet, it's not the IR images. So we need to get wave patterns from the color images. And how we do that? We have some college already do some great job about this to uncover the wave patterns from the original color images. You can check this algorithm from this paper. It's published in CBPR 2011. Okay. So on the previous slide, we can see that we can get wave patterns from the IR images, from the color images. The next step is, here are some samples from the wave patterns images. The first one is the original color images. The second one is the IR images. Here we use it as the ground truth of the wave patterns, because we can see the wave patterns here very clearly. And the following three images are the uncovered wave patterns from the original color images. In some real cases, such as that, maybe you know her, Sharapova. From the chest part, we can uncover some wave patterns. See some wave patterns. And on the same image of hers, we can see the similar wave patterns here, like this line. If you can see clearly, you can closer. Okay, so we get wave patterns. How do we use wave patterns to identify the twins? So if we want to identify someone, we need to make sure that this biometric trace is unique, like fingerprints. For the twins, the fingerprints between the twins is different. So we need to make sure the wave patterns for the twins is also distinguishable. Yeah. To evaluate the performance of these biometric traces, we design the identification system. And here is the basic structure of our system. the input is the image, it can be the IR image.